everybody, welcome to Kate B channel. I'm Kate. I live in Central Florida and I'm here with you on Friday night because I'm in the car and I have to wait about 40 minutes before I go to my daughter's school activity. And I wanted to share with you how the week has gone, how is everything going, and just to share some of my thoughts with you. That's why I come to the live stream, to express myself, to do some sort of a video diary of my living in the United States. I'm originally from Eastern Europe. If you don't follow my channel, I'm originally from Eastern Europe, Republic of Moldova. I'm an immigrant and I've been living in the United States for the past 18 and a half years. I came here to be a student in college, and I got married and I settled, and I never went back to Eastern Europe since 2006. So I'm an immigrant. I'm naturalized. I never can say that word. I'm naturalized citizen of the United States. And if you ask me how I feel now at my 48, I feel more American than ever before, because I'm growing my kids here. They were born here. My daughter is almost 16. She's going to be 16 in May, and my younger daughter is 11. So today they have a fun activity at school, and they've been working hard on this project. Ольга Ваути, привет, привет, добрый вечер, добро пожаловать. Я уже в школе, мне сказали ждать, до 6:30 не пускают родители. Так что я сижу в машине и жду. So today's, it's a fun project, and it made me think how at the early age they make the kids work hard towards research, towards people who left an impact on world history. And Stella has been working hard on this project. I'm gonna of course film a video, but she picked a historic figure, Coco Chanel, for her project, and I was thinking, interesting. Stella is 11, and I don't know what kind of influence she had, like picking the fashion designer for her project, but I guess it's a very big fashion designer who left a big mark in history. And while she was making this project, Лариса Ларисина, здравствуйте, добрый день. Я прям оделась черная, потому что я иду на презентацию моей маленькой Coco Chanel. So, and it made me think, like, I guess she's watching a lot of, I don't know, YouTube videos, but I guess at 11 she has her own sense of style, and she is very feminine. She loves to take care of her hair. She likes to, pick up the outfits for the day. So at first I was surprised. I'm talking about my daughter and her project. She's gonna present today at 6:30. So I was surprised, I guess people pick all kind of history, people, figures, but хорошо выглядишь, спасибо, я стараюсь. Маленькое черное платье, оно, как сказать, скрывает все недостатки фигуры. So she told me that she really liked the story of Coco Chanel, and maybe it was one of suggestions. Что за проект? Проект «Живые восковые фигуры». So the project is called Life Wax Museum. And I guess the kids had suggestions from previous years, because this school has been doing this Life Wax Museum for the past 18 years. So today marks the 18th annual Life Wax Museum. And you should understand, this is like middle schoolers. They are in 6th grade. Kids are mostly 11 and 12. So they had to pick a figure. And I don't know if I can really go and like do live stream inside the school. I'll probably just do videos. So, our school is like, different from regular schools. So I was very excited that Stella picked Coco Chanel. Школа искусств, это которая гимнастка или другая дочь? Да, которая гимнастка, маленькая. So they had to come up with the idea of how they're gonna dress up. So she made me buy her a black dress with the long sleeves. So she looked at the black and white picture of Coco Chanel from who knows when, like 1935 or whatever. So she looked it up. You're beautiful. Thank you, Adrienne. Welcome to my live stream. So she looked it up, and then she did her own research. She had to put it on a big board. And when we went to the store, she wanted to pick the black board, you know, like black three-fold board. And I wasn't sure. And back in the day, I remember like my mom wouldn't allow me to pick my outfits until I was, I don't know, 15 or 16. She would buy me clothes. But now, какая многосторонняя дочь, молодец, yeah. But now, like, I didn't have a say in what hero she's gonna pick, what figure she's gonna pick. She picked Coco Chanel, and now I don't have a say in how she's gonna be dressed up. She has this image in her mind, and she looked at the images, black and white, from back in the day, and she told me she needs a black dress, and she needs some pearl beads, то есть нужны были какие-то перламутровые бусы, and then she needs today in the morning she told me she needs red lipstick, and I'm like, oh, okay. So she had to put fun facts about Coco Chanel. В 11 лет не знала Коко. Да, вот такие продвинутые дети. Я тоже не знала. Мне мама покупала одежду до 20 лет, наверное, и заставляла меня носить какие-то странные вещи. А она нет, она уже в 11 лет, у нее свой стиль. So this morning, I asked her why not pink. She said, "Oh, mom, don't you know like red lipstick is like what you say, like it's about Coco Chanel." I'm like, oh, okay. So she didn't put too bright red. Like before I dropped her off, I made sure it's not like too big bright, because she didn't have like big bright red lipstick. She had some other lipsticks she used to make it red. So she asked me to buy a dress on Amazon because this project had like milestones. First you have to start to put facts and like timeline on the board. And when she picked black board, I'm like, black. And she said, Mom, you don't understand, it's elegance, you know. So she picked black board, and then she picked some rhinestones, like little stickers, gold, and she said, and she picked big gold letters to put her name on the board. And I'm like, oh wow, that really, she put a thought in it. Like even the design of her board, even the design of her paper presentation has a little style there with black and gold. So she started to put little, you know, papers and little timeline about the life of Coco Chanel, and you know, interesting facts and so on. But then, I love your voice, Sergio, thank you. Про элеганс я тоже не знала, в голове были только куклы. Да, пупсики, мы шили пупсиком одежду. Ниткой и иголкой шили такие маленькие распашонки для пупсиков. Да, в 11 лет мы еще играли в куклы. Some of my viewers remember how we played at 11, we still played dolls. Yeah, I guess kids are very advanced now because they know a lot about makeup, about fashion, about looks, and they have abundance of clothes. They have too much sometimes, so they can pick their own clothes, and at some point moms don't have say. Like my almost 16 years old, she buys her clothes with her own money, and I don't even know until I see the garment. I'm like, oh, where did you get this? And she would tell me Shein, or she would tell me Lululemon, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know she buys expensive clothes too. And she bought her swimsuits when we went on the cruise, like she was 15, and she didn't even ask of my approval. It's only one swimsuit I didn't really like, so she agreed not to wear it. But the other swimsuits she bought, I didn't have a say in what she bought. So at 11, you know, we still go together, and she picks her clothes, and I still pay for it. But at 15, 16, if they have their own money, they buy their own clothes. So she worked on this project, and she was very proactive. She said, I'll start early so I don't do it last minute. So it was a well thought project. So she brought me to Michael's store. Probably the project was due on April 7th, and we went to Michael's like very early March. So she's been thinking what she's gonna put. They do their own research. They pick the facts they want to put on the board, because obviously on the board you can't put everything. You just put like you know, information. And she even picked like a little piece of paper that says press here. So when you go around and see Life Walks Museum, what you're gonna do, you kind of like press a button and the person becomes to tell you their speech about the historic figure they were representing. Are you British? Gecko bread. No, I'm Russian. I speak Russian. My first language is Russian. It's interesting because I see like people dressed up like, you know, historic, I don't know, like knights, like old times. Interesting. I will make sure I'll take some videos of the kids in their project. So when you press the button, like it's fake button on the boards, then they have to start the speech, and the speech has to be less than 2 minutes, so it's not boring. So in this 2 minutes they have to convey their story, and it's very interesting to see how kids, what other historic figures other kids picked. But that's it. That's Stella, Coco Chanel. Who would have thought? I have a little fashionista in my house. So I dressed up appropriately. She dressed up in black. I even offered her to use perfume. I had the Chanel perfume, I had Chanel Chance, and I had like Coco Mademoiselle. But I thought for the little girl, you know, I wanted something fresh so she doesn't smell like old woman. So she picked the Chanel Chance. So I told her that it's gonna give it to add to their, you know, like atmosphere when she talks about Coco Chanel, and people can kind of like sniff a little perfume around. It's gonna give it a little special touch. So I'm excited to see how she's gonna perform. So because of that, you know, I keep telling you about my kid. Because of that, I wanted to ask you, if you have kids and compared to when you grew up, do you remember that our parents didn't feel like we were so special? My parents, for example, they mostly criticized me, and they put the expectations so high, so it was hard to meet the expectations. Nowadays, every kid feels so special because American culture, everyone is so unique. We praise them for every little thing. We clap them when they go poop, when they're like start using the toilet. And you know, the whole culture here is so much different, and every child is told he's so special. Why you tell essay story? No, it's not an essay story. You should probably get off and go be a mother. Yeah, I'll get off. Yeah, I'm waiting in the car. I'm not allowed to come until 6:30, and now it's 6:04, so I'm leaving in about 15 minutes. Yeah, you can be going and teaching your kids something instead of trying to get attention on the internet. Soul Reaper. Yes, you're totally right. Thank you for that advice. I'll gladly take it. I have to be a better mom, but I'm in the car waiting because parents can only come at 6:30, and I dropped her off at 5:55. So I have 40 minutes to myself just sitting in the car. I'd rather talk to you on YouTube and get some attention. Yes, you're totally right. I'm a narcissistic mother that wants attention, that doesn't want to be around her kids often. Yes, that's me. You're right. You're right. You can say that. Whatever you want to say, it's okay. Are you Polish? No, I'm Russian and Moldovan. All right, so what's your IG, sweetheart? I don't know what is IG means. What is IG? What is your problem? Soul Reaper. Jesus is king. That's true. That's messed up. If you don't want to buy with your kids, Instagram. Instagram. It's my IG. Soul Reaper, you're trying to find me on IG. I kept putting my IG so many times under my live streams. For Instagram у тебя спрашивают. Putin, great man. I like you. Okay, so how were you when you were a kid? Did your parents talk about you being so special? My philosophy is everything have to be balanced. It wasn't right when our parents had high expectations from us and they never praised us. My mom mostly like criticized me for every little thing instead of like giving me more praise. So when I grew up, I was very conscious, and I always criticized myself until later on in life I learned that things can be different. You have to be respectful to yourself, you have to love yourself, you have to praise yourself, and whatever your parents anticipated from you, or they put high expectations and you didn't meet these expectations, all the criticism, it kind of traumatized you. So I don't completely, my mom praised me. Oh, lucky you, pretty pink. Can you please say hi, Sarah? Hi, Sarah. Welcome to my live stream. I'm Kate. I live in Central Florida. Another 15 minutes I'll be with you. Hi, baby King's Cobra. Hi, baby. Welcome to my live stream. So, but there should be a balance. If we praise them, my philosophy is there should be balance in praise and criticism. Of course, we know about constructive criticism, but at that age, when my kid is 11, she's a preteen, she's very sensitive to every little thing, every little criticism, and I pick it up. Like every little thing can make her a little upset. So I don't want to instigate the self-conscience like my mom instigated in me. I want to her to be very I want her to be, I don't want her to be nervous every time I say something. I don't want to criticize her for every little thing. I want to give a good fair good fair praise when it's due. And if I criticize, I don't say it with the mean like voice, or I don't say it with the mean words. If I want to criticize, I kind of explain something that can be improved rather than like saying it bluntly. Our parents were very blunt. They would say like mean, nasty things, and we thought it was because their parents, they're allowed to do so. But that was just the culture back then. It has nothing to do with how bad or mean they were. It's just like that was the behavior of adults in that certain area we grew up. My parents ain't even given me that much attention. I was raised by a strong single mom who did it all on her own. Soul Reaper, oh wow, you were raised by a strong single mom. Yeah, I have that in my family too. My sister raised her child without without a man, without his father, and the whole family, like me and my parents, we helped my sister to raise the child, and he turned out to be a very successful young man. So I think that strong women are capable of raising good children. I'm totally thinking like in the circumstances when the woman is not sorry for herself, she just has a child she's responsible for, she has all the guts and this responsibility, like being strong and working hard to give your children the best. I think single moms can raise very good kids. So maybe you're one of them, Soul Reaper. Anyways, I'm not in the situation. I'm raising, a child with the help of my husband and the help of my father, grandpa. So we're all there. And my husband always praises them. Like for every little thing, he's like all smiley, happy all the time. And I'm the one who criticizes. And I always tell myself, don't criticize, don't like be mean about it. Just explain what can be improved. If you see something needs to be improved, don't be blunt like your mom telling you things like you were not happy about. So, but on the other hand, I see like if we always praise them and they think they're so special, they stop working hard. They stop trying to achieve something or progress if we just praise them for every little thing. I still think that we have to expect a little bit more out of them, like to be a little more than average, or I expect them to work a little harder, to be a little more advanced than an average person. That's my philosophy. So that's why I don't want to praise for every ordinary things. Like, why do I need to praise my kids if they clean the table after themselves? It's a must, you know. In my family, it's a must. I don't need to praise them every time they clean after themselves. It's like a common sense to clean after yourself, you know. There are no slaves in the house. So I don't want to praise for simple things like that. I want to praise when they do superb at school, you know, like when I know their study. I know, like, my kid was nervous the other day about the math test, and then she came and she said, you wouldn't believe I got 95, you know. And I'm like, yeah, now I can tell she's special. But, you know, I don't want to become that American mom that always tells them they're so special and clap her hands every time they go pee and poo, or they like wash their hands after the toilet. No, some things a must do, and some things are like common, like sense. Everybody do that, like brushing their teeth twice a day. It's a must, you know. I don't need to praise every time they brush their teeth second time at night. That's the must for me. So I'm gonna be the mom, like I say I'm more American because that's how I feel in this culture, being integrated, going to work every day, working hard, living my American dream. Yes, I'm more American. My mentality, I agree with a lot more what they have in culture here than I agree with what we had there and probably still have in Eastern Europe. But when it comes to my kids, I'm probably between like tiger mom, between tiger Russian mom, and between like too soft American mom, you know, too obnoxious when they're like, my kid is the best, you know. I don't like that too, you know. Every little thing, every little fart, your kid is the best. And then, you know, so I want to be that mom that, you know, just shut up, and until your kid is successful doing something meaningful in life, you know, just shut up about every little thing and just wait for them to grow up and, you know, get good education or whatever they want to do in life, get, you know, independent and be on their own. And until then, I'm not gonna praise them for every little thing. That is common sense. So, and why I was talking about being special, because I was listening to this woman from Australia, and she raises those philosophical questions like I do, being almost 49. We going through changes, and she raises all these philosophical questions, because people at 49, like women, they start to think that they do enough. Did they put enough effort to have careers, or did they put enough effort to succeed like parents? Did they put enough effort to look healthy and, you know, age gracefully? And this woman said, if you stop thinking about yourself as being special, it's easier to give yourself more praise. And that made me think for the past couple of days, do I think of myself special? And to tell you the truth, if you asked me that question 2 years ago, I would say absolutely not, because I had so much high expectations. I had this inner voice who was criticizing myself for every little mistake, for every little fail, for every little imperfection. But now I'm almost 49 and I'm thinking, yes, I think of myself as special, because at 49, I finally got to understand how to cope with my own feelings, how to calm myself from, you know, being like super achiever, or how not to be anxious all the time and having too high of expectations from myself. And when I stopped being hard on myself, I noticed quite a difference. I stopped being hard to myself. I'm in the process. I didn't completely stop to be harsh on myself. I'm still, at moments, I'm still harsh on myself. But when I started to let things go for myself, like I started to forgive myself for every little mistake or imperfection, I started to notice that I have lower expectations from other people too. And that's the trick, guys. That helps me to be a better mom. That helps me to find this perfect balance from praising my kids versus, you know, trying to criticize for every little mistake. And that proves the fact that every change, like, you can't change people, you only can change yourself and your reactions. So that proves the point. When you forgive yourself for every little imperfection, when you set your expectations to yourself a little lower, that's how you have to start from yourself. That's how you're gonna treat other people, and that's how you're gonna forgive this world for being imperfect, for being unfair. And that's how you not gonna notice all these little mistakes that people make every day. And that's how you're not gonna be as irritated as you were before, because that irritation came from high expectations from yourself, and then that irritation came from people don't meet your standards, which are only in your head. They're not like real yeah, there are real, you know, there are real values and standards, but people don't have to meet your values and standards. And when you start with yourself, when you come yourself in terms of don't be harsh on yourself, don't criticize yourself for every little mistake, or when things are not going right, or, you know, you're human, sometimes you're tired, sometimes you're upset. And when I started to notice that I'm not perfect, I'm not like 100% perfect, because, you know, sometimes I make mistake at work. And when I started to notice that I'm not perfect, and I started to forgive myself for every little mistake, I started to own my mistakes. And my reaction to my mistakes were not like it's the end of the world. Like before that, when I made a mistake at work, it's the end of the world. I'll be thinking about it for 2 days, I'll fix it, I'll write 3 emails to apologize, and people would say it's okay, move on. And I would be so harsh for myself, like professionally, it would be killing me. And now I can say, like, if I make mistake today, I was like, I had a email from my boss telling me to check on something, and sure enough, that 80% it was my mistake. And instead of being like too harsh on myself and like thinking it's the world, oh sorry, I missed you, chat. What is the time in America now, please? Hello, ma'am. It's Florida time, 6:19. So, and today I looked at those mistakes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna apologize, I'm gonna say what happened, I'm gonna own my mistake, and I'm gonna move on. And as soon as I did these 3 things, it's simple. It doesn't have to be like 3 or 5 emails apologizing and thinking of this mistake as the end of the world. You know, I'm not a surgeon that performs a surgery, brain surgery, that every mistake can cause a life. I'm just the person who is like paying for, you know, materials and making sure those financial documents are sent for payments and everything is accounted for. And of course, I don't know, I go back, I look at my work diary, and I see what might have happened. Maybe I got distracted, maybe I got another priority, a new email, but you know, things happen. I missed those 4 invoices out of 6, and when I wrote that I apologize for that was totally my mistake, and I'm gonna fix it now. As long as I said that, and as I saw myself that I owned it, and I'm like, wow, now I'm an adult. Now I'm not expecting myself to be 100% perfect. I'm not expecting myself to be always, you know, right. And I'm not expecting myself to be anxious about every little error that happens, because it's work. If I wouldn't work, the error wouldn't happen. So it just shows that I'm a human being. I have a certain load at my work, and I'm a human being. Sometimes I can miss things too, and it just shows that, you know, I'm doing something. If you don't do anything, you're not gonna have mistakes, you know. So, and that's why it helps me to be the same with my kids. And I'm not like 100% not praising them, but I'm holding this, you know, you know how we're a couple. My husband is a good policeman and I'm a bad policeman. You know how we balance out. So I'm the one who is not like 100% satisfied, and my husband is the one who always gives the praise for the effort. My husband is the one who 100% gives the praise for the effort, and tell them they're special and tell them they're doing good. And I'm a person who gives them a praise, just, you know, like, yeah, I do give them a praise. I give them kisses. I take them to do something fun. I take them out for lunch. I buy them something if they want, you know, little praise, like little shopping. But I'm not always clapping for every little A, you know, or like I'm not clapping for the things they kind of need to do regardless. And I'm not telling them 100% of the time they're special, because I don't want them to feel they're so special that they just need to stop doing and just relax and being special. Okay, I hope I hope I got my thoughts to you. So if you have anything to comment, please leave your comments under this live stream. And it's 6:22 and I'm excited to go and film a fun event in my daughter's school. Again, it's going to be Life Walks Museum, and kids going to represent historic figures, and this project is in history class. So please watch my other videos, my shorts. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for spending time on this live stream with me. I love you all, and it's Kate B from the United States, sunny Florida. It's very hot already. It's 87 outside, so I'm going to see my daughter being Coco Chanel tonight. Thank you. Love you all. Bye-bye, Kate B. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Brush your teeth. Isaac, Sammy, RS, King Boba, thank you all for stopping by. Love you all. Have a good weekend. I'll come out on weekend too if I have something to say. Bye.